Have you ever stood on the silent edge of the Sahara, where the first light spills gold over endless dunes and the only sound is the breath of wind? Today, we wander to Mauritania, a land of ancient routes and living sky, where every sunrise feels like the first in history. Mauritania stretches across northwest Africa, bordered by the wild Atlantic Western Sahara, Algeria, Mali, and Senegal. Nearly 5 million people call this land home, descendants of Berbers, Arabs, Pular, Soninke, and Wolof, living as Sunni Muslims in the rhythms of sand, prayer, patience, and hope. This is a country of nomads and storytellers, tea rituals, and faith woven into every gesture. The world falls quiet as we arrive at dawn in Nouakchott, the capital. Mist rises from the ocean as the city wakes. Men in blue boubous walking the empty roads, women in bright mulafas sweeping steps, children chasing goats through sandy alleys. At the port, fishermen in painted boats haul in the first catch. Their nets glisten in the pale sun. Gulls circle and cry above the foam. The market comes to life. Pyramids of dates, bundles of mint, heaps of melons and millet, stalls hung with silverwork and woven cloth. A vendor greets you with a hand over his heart and, "Salam alaikum." He pours sweet mint tea from high above the glass, the foam rising like a promise. You sit on a rough wooden bench. In Mauritania, hospitality is not a custom, it is the foundation of life. Tea is the thread that ties every meeting, every day, every story. Breakfast is simple: flatbread, dates, salted butter, a bowl of camel milk. You sit in the shadow of an awning, stories drifting in Hassaniya, Pular, Soninke. Laughter is as soft as the wind. The city grows bright, goats grazing beside battered taxis, basap juice sold by a girl in a violet scarf, old men sitting under faded parasols, prayer beads rolling quietly through their fingers. At midday, the world softens and pauses. Shops close, prayer mats are spread, and the call to prayer echoes like a river of song over rooftops and sand. By late afternoon, Nouakchott stirs to life again. The air is full of voices, greetings, the laughter of children. You follow narrow roads lined with date palms and half-built walls toward the city's edge, where the dunes begin. You leave Nouakchott on the Route de l'Espoir, the road of hope, stretching east, deeper into the Sahara's heart. The road is narrow, shared by battered trucks, donkey carts, motorcycles, and wandering camels. The landscape unfurls, wide and silent. Acacias cling to life in the sand, roots seeking ancient water. Dunes shift their shapes with every gust. Villages appear and disappear like mirages. Mud brick houses, walls painted with geometric designs, clusters of date palms sheltering courtyards from the sun. Children wave from doorways, goats browse on thorn trees, old men gather beneath woven mats to share the day's news and pour glass after glass of tea. Hospitality greets you everywhere. A cup of water from a clay jug, a bowl of rice and fish, a place to rest in the shade. As dusk falls, you reach a nomad camp on the lip of the dunes. Tents glow golden in lantern light, and the scent of roasting lamb drifts on the air. Bread bakes beneath hot sand, tea steams in battered tin pots, dates and stories pass from hand to hand. Elders tell of ancestors who crossed the desert guided by stars, of oases lost and found, of legendary journeys stitched to the patient rhythm of camels. The desert night is immense. You lie back on a mat, the sand warm beneath you, the Milky Way ablaze from horizon to horizon. Sometimes in Mauritania, the silence is so deep, it feels like standing at the beginning of time. Dawn comes cool and blue. The camp stirs. Camels are loaded, tents folded. Prayers rise as the first sun touches the dunes. A girl brings dates and sweet camel milk. The caravan moves north. Camels gliding over sand, shadows long and blue. The desert is endless. Tracks of passing lives crisscross the sand. Caravan trails, footprints of foxes and goats, the shifting memory of wind. Acacia trees offer rare shade. You pause for tea, for stories, for slices of chilled melon shared by a shepherd. 100 tiny kindnesses thread each day together. Stone replaces sand as Chinguetti rises out of the plain. The city's minaret stands watch above silent streets, stone houses and shadowed libraries, heavy with manuscripts. You walk with a scholar among shelves, bowing under the weight of ancient books. Qurans written in gold, treatises on astronomy and medicine, poetry and law. The wisdom of centuries held safe from the hunger of time. Faith is quiet here, woven into every greeting, every act of patience, every bowl of tea. At dusk, you kneel in the mosque's hush, shoulder to shoulder with strangers. Dinner is lamb and rice, eaten slowly beneath a sky blazing with stars, the air cool and clear. An elder tells you stories. Jinn hiding in the dunes, rains that come and go, journeys that never end. You climb a stone stair to the roof, wind singing through arches, children pointing to constellations. Silence settles like a cloak. The desert feels infinite. The night is gentle. You travel south the next day, following the old caravan trails. The Adrar Plateau rises on the horizon, wild and bare, mountains like old bones, valleys streaked with green, pools hidden among rocks. Herds of camels cross the plain, their drivers wrapped in indigo. Villages bloom along the sand's edge, round huts, goats, palm trees, laughter echoing between walls. Hospitality is unending. Water, tea, a place to sit beneath the acacia shade. In Attar, the market swirls with color. Dates, millet, beads, old coins, gossip and laughter. Mint tea is poured, the smoke of charcoal twisting above stoves. As the sky darkens, a griot sings of love and loss, the slow turning of the world. Sometimes in Mauritania, music and memory are the same thing. You turn westward toward the coast. Sand gives way to salt, desert to tidal flats. Birds rise in clouds, flamingos, pelicans, spoonbills. The Bankdar Green stretches along the Atlantic, a place where sea and Sahara meet and mingle. In an Imragwang fishing village, boats carved from single logs rest on the sand. Women clean mullet, children gather shellfish, men mend nets and sing songs older than the dunes. You eat fish grilled over driftwood, Drink tea as dolphins follow your pirogue out onto the lagoon. Here, life is shaped by patience, by tide and wind and moon. As the sun sinks, the village gathers on the sand. Tea is poured, stories rise with the smoke, laughter mingling with the hush of the waves. You linger on the coast. A sandstorm rolls in from the interior, cloaking the world in ochre and gold. For a day, the sky disappears. The air is thick and humming, every surface softened, every sound muted. Children play in the dunes, their cries muffled by the wind. Women tie their scarves tight and carry on, heads bowed, hands steady. When the sky finally clears, the world feels washed new. Your journey follows the Senegal River, the land growing green with every passing mile. Villages cluster by the floodplain, houses of mud and reed, gardens lush with okra and squash, cattle grazing by slow waters. In Rosso, the market is wild with color and movement. Women in patterned dresses sell mangoes, peppers, sweet potatoes. Men bargain over rice, cloth, stories, and news. Ferries cross the river, carrying families and memories between Mauritania and Senegal, songs and prayers echoing across the water. You share thibu dien, rice and fish with tomatoes, carrots, cabbage, spicy and sweet. Children skip stones at dusk, laughter mingling with the call to prayer, the river gleaming in the last light. Sometimes peace is nothing more than dusk and laughter by the water's edge. You spend days wandering with nomads into the dunes, following herds of camels as they move from one grazing ground to another. You watch a festival unfold in a desert village. Drums thunder, women's voices rise in ululation. Men leap and whirl in the sword dance. Couscous, dates, and honey cakes are shared beneath the stars. Poetry fills the darkness, tales of lost loves, lost cities, the blessing of rain and the long hope for return. In the hush, you sense the true rhythm of Mauritania, patience, gratitude, endurance, and the ever-present hope that the rains will come. You reach Turjit, an oasis hidden between red cliffs, palms crowding along a cool, singing stream. Water runs sweet over your hands. Families gather in the shadows to share rice and grilled lamb, sweet oranges, figs, and laughter. Children splash in the spring. Elders sit with backs to the rock, remembering years of hardship and years of plenty, rains that failed and rains that brought the world to bloom. You bathe in the pool, letting dust and memory slip away. The world grows still. Time widens. In the cool evening, you join a wedding procession. Young women carry lamps, their dresses shimmering in the lantern light. Drummers lead the way, and the whole village follows, singing old songs that rise into the desert night. A feast is laid out. Bowls of rice, roasted lamb, fruit, honey pastries, endless rounds of tea. Children drift off to sleep on their mothers' laps, the night spinning on laughter and music and the hush of stories whispered beneath the stars. The next day, you return to the dunes for one last walk. Your footprints vanish behind you. The horizon glows gold, then softens to violet and blue. You sit with friends around a low fire. Tea is poured. Farewells are spoken with smiles, with silence, with the gentle touch of a hand. The sky is full of stars, the Milky Way is bright, and the desert breathes below. Some journeys end not in words, but in the hush of night, a promise carried home in your bones. You stand on the edge of the desert at dawn one last time, The air is cool. Camels browse on dry thorns. The world stretches wide and still. You think of all you have seen, the welcome of strangers, the wisdom of patience, the quiet pride of a people who live between sand and sea, prayer and song, memory and hope. As our narrated discovery of Mauritania comes to a close, we hope this journey brought you a sense of wonder, stillness, and quiet strength. If you enjoyed exploring with us, please consider subscribing for more poetic journeys to the world's hidden places. Leave a comment if you have thoughts, suggestions, or a country you'd love us to visit next. And if this brought you a moment of calm, a like would mean the world. Thank you for exploring gently with us. Until next time.